Stoicism is an ancient wisdom that is much needed in modern society. Marcus Aurelius and Seneca are known as the fathers of Stoic philosophy. Today, we're diving deep into 9 habits that these Stoic masters would definitely disapprove of. Are you unknowingly practicing any of them? Let's find out together and set your path straight. Habit 1. Mismanaging time. How often do we think we have all the time in the world? This way of thinking is like seeing a mirage of endless time. But guess what? Time is not infinite. Seneca, a wise Stoic, used to ponder a lot about life. One key thing he pointed out was how most of us aren't truly living. Instead, we're just existing, letting precious moments slip by. He believed that many of us waste time on things that don't matter, almost like we believe we'll live forever. But the truth is, our days are numbered. That's why understanding the real value of time is crucial. If we want to make the most of our lives, we need to treat time like the rare treasure it is. So, next time you're about to waste an hour on something trivial, remember Seneca's words and think about what truly matters. Don't just exist, live and value every moment you have. Habit 2. Resisting change. Change can be scary, right? Many of us naturally resist it, preferring the comfort of what's familiar. But here's an eye-opener. Marcus Aurelius had some deep thoughts on this. He believed that change is the destiny of everything. Everything, whether it's good or bad, is meant to transform, evolve, and sometimes even end. This is how new beginnings take place. Now think about it. Nature changes with every season. Caterpillars turn into butterflies. Rivers carve out valleys. All of these are signs of the universe telling us that change is a normal and necessary part of life. Marcus Aurelius stressed that fighting against change is like going against the flow of a river. Not only is it hard, but it also stops us from seeing the new chances and experiences waiting around the bend. Instead of dreading changes, we should welcome them. They're natural, inevitable, and often bring opportunities. Change can help us grow, learn, and become better versions of ourselves. So the next time life presents a shift, instead of pushing it away, try embracing it. Think of it as life giving you a new canvas to paint on. Habit 3. Surrendering to anxiety. Ever felt that heavy feeling in your chest, making your heart race and mind whirl? That's anxiety, a tricky emotion many of us grapple with. But here's something interesting. Anxiety doesn't come from the world outside. It brews inside us, cooked up by our own thoughts and perceptions. Imagine watching a horror movie. 2 people can see the same scary scene. One might be terrified, while the other might just laugh it off. Why? It's all about how they perceive it. In the same way, events outside don't create anxiety. Our reaction to them does. We worry about what might happen tomorrow or replay a mistake from yesterday. And slowly, this thinking pattern drags us into a storm of anxious feelings. But here's the silver lining. Just as we have the power to let anxiety in, we have the strength to let it out. Think back to a time you overcame a tough challenge. Remember how resilient you were. We'd all have faced hardships and bounced back. Those moments prove that we can handle more than we often give ourselves credit for. Habit 4. Emotional cleaning. Have you ever replayed an embarrassing moment in your head or felt bad about a mistake days after it happened? We all have. This is what we call emotional cleaning. It's when we can't let go of feelings like guilt or regret, even after the situation has passed. Now let's clear something up. It's okay to feel emotions. Feeling guilty or regretful can be a sign that we've learned from our mistakes. But once we've understood the lesson, it's essential to move on. Lingering on these feelings doesn't do any good. In fact, it holds us back. The Stoics, wise folks from ancient times, had a smart take on this. They believed in understanding emotions, but not letting them control our lives. For a Stoic, when you feel guilt or regret, it's a chance to reflect, learn, and then let go. It's like reading a book. Once you get the message, there's no need to keep rereading the same page. The Stoic way isn't about being emotionless, but it's about finding a balance. It's about realizing that holding onto negative feelings doesn't change the past. What it does, unfortunately, is cloud our present. Habit 5. Procrastination. We've all said it at some point. I'll do it tomorrow. But more often than not, tomorrow becomes the next day, and then the next, and so on. This cycle is called procrastination, and it's a sneaky trap many of us fall into. Think about it like this. Imagine you have a small stone in your shoe. Instead of taking it out immediately, you tell yourself you'll do it later. As you keep walking, the small discomfort grows into pain, making your journey difficult. Just like that stone, postponing tasks only makes our load heavier over time. Seneca and Marcus Aurelius had some strong opinions about this habit. Seneca once said that all fools keep planning to live, but never actually start living. In other words, always planning for tomorrow means we're missing out on today. Meanwhile, Marcus Aurelius believed in doing good things right away, without delay. Why? Because we're not guaranteed a tomorrow. But why is it so crucial to do things on time? For starters, completing tasks gives us a feeling of accomplishment. It lightens our mental load, and we can rest without that nagging feeling of having something unfinished. More importantly, finishing tasks on time shows we value not just our commitments but also our time and ourselves. Habit 6. Ignoring injustice. Have you ever seen something wrong happening and decided to look away? Most of us have, and it's a habit we need to break. Ignoring injustice is more than just remaining silent, it's being part of the problem. The Stoics, wise thinkers from ancient times, believed in a set of virtues. One of the most important among them was justice. To them, justice wasn't just about doing the right thing, but also standing against the wrong. They believed that if you see something unjust and do nothing, you're as responsible as the one causing it. Marcus Aurelius had some sharp words about this. He believed that doing nothing when seeing an injustice is like being an accomplice. Imagine watching someone steal and doing nothing. It's as if you're helping them. By not acting, we're allowing the wrong to spread. But what can we do? The Stoics advise us to use our 4 virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. We should wisely pick our battles, act justly, have the courage to stand up, and do so with calmness and restraint. In simpler terms, don't just stand by when bad things happen. Speak up, help out, and do what's right. Our surroundings become a reflection of our actions. If we want a fair and just world, we must act against injustices, no matter how big or small they might seem. Habit 7. Voluntary servitude. Have you ever felt trapped by your own desires or habits? Well, you're not alone. The ancient philosopher Seneca spoke about how we all can become slaves, not in chains, but to our own feelings and wants. This kind of self-made trap is what he called voluntary servitude. Imagine being so attached to your phone that you can't leave it for a moment, or constantly wanting more and more stuff, even if you don't need it. These are modern examples of what Seneca warned us about, being a slave to desires like greed or ambition. And guess what? These desires don't come from the outside. They're created by us, in our own minds. But there's good news. We can break free. Seneca believed that the secret to escaping this self-made prison is discipline. By training our minds and being strong in our decisions, we can regain control over these overpowering impulses. Think of discipline as a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. It's essential to remember that real freedom doesn't mean doing whatever we want, but being in control of what we want. True freedom is about being the master of our own minds, choices, and actions. Habit 8. Seeking external validation. We all love getting compliments, right? It feels good when someone notices our hard work or compliments our outfit. But what if we started doing things only for those praises and forgot the real reasons behind our actions? That's where the danger lies. Imagine painting a picture. If you paint because you genuinely love the process, the colors, and expressing yourself, that's great. But if you're only painting to get likes on social media or compliments from friends, you're missing out on the real joy of the activity. This is what it means to seek external validation. It's like doing things just for the applause, not the passion. Relying on others to feel good about ourselves is risky. What if the praise stops? Does that mean our work has no value? Absolutely not. But if we always depend on external validation, it can feel that way. We end up giving other people the power to decide our worth. The trick is to remember why we started something in the first place. Do things because they make you happy, proud, or fulfilled. Find joy in the journey, not just the destination. This mindset is about valuing our actions for their real worth, not the attention they might get. Habit 9. Accepting mediocrity. Have you ever just settled for good enough? It's easy to do. Sometimes we think, why push harder? This is fine. But the Stoics, wise thinkers from long ago, believed that we should always do our best. They taught that every task, big or small, deserves our full effort. Imagine you're building a sandcastle. You could quickly pile up sand, make a simple tower, and call it done. Or you could take your time, shape each part carefully, and make it the best sandcastle on the beach. The difference? Your effort and passion. The Stoics knew that we can't control everything. Maybe the tide comes in and washes your sandcastle away. That's out of your hands. What you can control, though, is the effort you put into building it. This is a big Stoic lesson. Focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. In life, this means always striving for excellence. Whether you're studying, working, playing, or just doing daily chores, aim to do them the best you can. When you put in 100%, you'll feel proud, even if things don't turn out perfect. So let's not settle for just okay. Remember the Stoic way. It's not about the outcome, but the effort we put in. By aiming high in all we do, we can rise above mediocrity and truly shine. You know, when you have a pile of clothes on a chair, and every day you tell yourself, I'll sort that out tomorrow. Then days pass, and the pile just gets bigger. Our bad habits are a bit like that pile. They build up, making it harder for us to deal with them. But guess what? The moment you see the pile and decide to sort it, you've begun the cleaning process. Similarly, these habits we talked about might seem big and tough. They might feel like a huge mountain that's too hard to climb. But remember, every journey starts with a single step. By reading about these habits and knowing them, you've already taken that first step. That's a big deal. Stoicism, an old way of thinking, teaches us something cool. It says it's not enough to just do good things. We also have to stop doing the bad ones. Think of it like gardening. You don't just plant flowers, you also have to pull out the weeds or they'll take over. So as we wrap up, here's a little pep talk. Don't get discouraged if these habits are hard to break at first. Remember, change takes time. By being aware of these habits, you're on the right track. With a little patience, effort, and some Stoic wisdom, you can overcome them and make your garden flourish.